Hi class, I wanted to give you some video feedback. So far everything is looking really great, and what you'll do is you'll take this feedback I give you, you'll make a list, a bulleted list for yourself, and then you'll apply that for your revision. All right, you can duplicate the site first and then make your revisions on the duplicate. All right, Matthew, very good. You have your name and your service in your header, which means it will be on every page. And we do want to remove this background. Any video is going to take up space, and you really want your content to be the main event. And so you don't want to share that storage space with anything when you could be using it for your work. And this is recognizable. So as a template sort of thing. This always looks I know the template, and it is the template, but you'll probably want to make sure that this is the same size and font, and try to avoid underlines. That has a feeling of being clickable. And remember, our goal is to just give our site visitor the information they want, a peek into your work, and how to reach you, okay? So it gets a little busy back here. Can read it better than some things I've seen, but a little too much as far as what our eye is competing with. So you want to simplify that. Make sure you're using the same headers throughout. And this technically can be removed. It goes to another section that further develops your about content, so that can be deleted. These you want to hook up to at least a LinkedIn, everybody. This is good, great size. This is distracting me, but this is all a great size and legible and looking really good. Okay. I'm going to guess that boating has something to do with what you're doing. Don't know. You would probably go in and sort of go into Photoshop and remove some of that mass there, or rope, whatever that is. And again, it's a great image. It's just taking us away from the content. So yeah, that's the sense there. Transparency is a great way to make things work. Might need to be a little more opaque to cover up some of those lines. All right. Okay. Great. You updated your year. Didn't have to include, a map. Let's see your. Okay, so drop down, that can be removed. Portfolio, let's look at your about. Okay, the about needs to link to this strip. And what that means is in your navigation, you're going to create or see if there already exists an anchor. Anchors are at the top of a strip. They can be moved. And so you want to make sure there's an anchor here that is linked to your about page, so that when you select about, that's where it goes. And you have an additional page here. So let's remove some of these things. I see now this is just a template image that you have. You'll want to clear that up. You don't need it twice. And make sure this is a Google number, or you can leave your number off. There are free Google numbers, but you don't want to put your own number. Okay, so I saw back here there's a portfolio link, and that is set. The anchor is there in the right place and sending us to the right place. Okay, so you'll want to remove the drop down and fix that about link. Let's look at the mobile. Make sure. You may have a little too much up here for your mobile, and it is covering, the content here is being covered. You want to clear that. So you can simplify this to, cinematographer, digital filmmaker, whatever you want to say, to make it a little less word heavy and kind of in the way. You're also duplicating it here, which isn't necessary. Again, this image is highly recognizable. It's a template image and it's used often. It's a great image, but do think about putting your own image there. Great image here. And for mobile, we usually have to cut that down. It's too much scrolling. So do edit your about for your mobile version, and you're going to remove that. Okay. So I think once you make some of the corrections, you're going to need to double check that and see how those are working. All right. All right. So make sure you make those changes for your revision in week 4. All right. Great start. Okay. Let's see. Easy to read. A little too much kerning space between the letters. They kind of spread out a bit. Okay. Okay, good. And let's see. You may want a transparent box behind this so it's more legible. The background is distracting us. When you can, try to avoid outlining letters. Okay. And you're going to need, okay, you have that 2024, good. You may need a little more headspace there, not much, but a little more. I do like the fact that we get into the content right away. That's great. Make the spacing consistent throughout, and otherwise terrific. Okay, make sure that's a Google Voice number. All good. And you might want to bring this up a little bit. Anytime we can have the same number of heading lines, the better, so that they're consistently 1 or 2 lines, for example. That works best. Left align these because we're getting into kind of it's becoming a paragraph. All right, so left align all of those. Here's a case where you have a descender on the P and an ascender on the B, and that's why it looks like it's a little tight. Not a lot you can do about it since you have it repeated, your style there, so not much you can do when it's just one being affected. Let's see how the mobile's looking. Okay, let's make this menu higher contrast. Make that white, and you wouldn't need to do that. Again, you're going to fix the kerning on this. Okay. All right. Try and have more contrast here, so we see home. Under. Okay, good. Okay, we'll close that space. Watch out for this overlapping. And this wrap. Okay, so the end should be up here, so you want to look at that. Link up your sites to your professional accounts, but otherwise, terrific job. Okay. If you can get this in the header, that'd be great. Don't need the menu. We need the menu right away rather than a button that leads us to it. But other than that, terrific start, terrific. Okay, Trinity. This particular template, you'll need to remove the background. You want to have just your work on this. Okay, good. Again, a simple background will work. Remove this stock image. Okay. So what we need, I don't see an information link. Remove this. So what we're going to need is your description of these, all right? Your asset guides. Remove that background, and if you're not sure how to do that, just right click and go to the background. You can change the background to the color white and it will remove it. There is a video on that. Good job linking up. Make sure this is a Google number, and all of these need to either come out or be linked up, the ones over here on the right. Okay. Okay, that's easy to read. Good choice on your font there. Background's going to come out. Have your name up here and what you do in the header. And remove all this space. And make sure there's no overlapping of text. Okay. So, and it is this template, but you're going to want to put your name and service up here. So when you do that, it will show up on your mobile and it will be on every page, which is what you want. All right. Great start. Skylar. Okay. Add photographer up here in the header. Remove the login. Just select it and delete it. Good job linking up. Good job with your copyright. I hope this is an image you took. Excuse me, easy to read font, well done. Okay. You may have to make these closer together. There is a brand style guide on those, and they usually are like half of an icon for spacing. We might want to get into this a little quicker, but great job. Make sure you have the same amount of spacing throughout. Good. Okay. All right, nice. Good job with your asset guides. Good job. Contact is last. Excellent. That's about the right space. All right. So far, so great. This, you may not need that text. It's better to have it up here and have what you're doing. You'll remove the login. If you decide you need it because you're selling your images, you can always put that right back in. But otherwise, it's kind of in the way up here. Okay, at some point you may decide to put your logo up here, the camera logo that you have. But otherwise, terrific. Great job. Everything's easy to read. Everything's linking up. Well done. Okay, Marshall, make sure you have your name and your skill in your header up here. This is a difficult font to read, so you might want to look at the class video on that. Choose something like this font, which is much easier to read, something like this. Good job on your copyright date. Okay. Okay. Let's see. All right, you'll have your name up here and what you do. Okay. Good job linking up. All right. Google Voice. All right, so not a lot of changes that need to be made here. Left align this, try to make sure it doesn't have a line break there. A little large. You'll need to probably edit this down quite a bit. I think it could go to a smaller font size, just a bit. Easy to read. Make sure everybody's video files are optimized so that they don't take a long time to load. Remove one of these contact pages. Right, so delete the additional page there. So let's look at, I think, one more. Here we go. Let's try to remove any obstacles to just getting straight into your site. All right, so let's not provide this. It's covering things up, and it's not getting us there also. Okay, this is better at the end after your contact page information. We first want them to decide if they want to contact you. Okay, probably just a little spacing before your header here, mission and services, just a little. And then you won't have to underline it, which I prefer. They're not underlined. As I said, they feel like they're a link. It seems like this is in your footer, so it's taking up a lot for your footer. I wouldn't do that unless it's a strip on everything and it's showing on every page, and that can be hidden to where it's not on every page. Okay, nice. And not sure what this is, if there's something there, it's loading too slowly. And I should be able to click on these and see a little bit about them, or you'll need to find a way to add your asset guide that tells us just a little bit about each. Not much, but just enough. Okay, good, great, great. So either this isn't leading anywhere, or it's leading to content that is too heavy a file and it's loading too slowly. So you can remove these for now. It frustrates your user when they go there and it isn't working. They would rather just not be there. Then they won't know it's not working. Make sure you have a free Google Voice. A little less space here, make it consistent. And link up at least a LinkedIn. This image needs to drop back. Okay, it's also large, so that's why it took a minute or a few seconds to pop up. But you definitely don't want it competing with this information. Your user's brain will be trying to sort that from the background. So you want to think about those things. Let's look at your mobile. Okay. Yeah, I can't get in to see anything. I immediately am asked if I want to quote. And so since we don't know that we want that, that's a little off-putting. This is great font and inviting, and it's easy to read. I like the color schemes. Close that up. Close all that. Delete all that empty space. Now remember, a screen reader is going to read these dots as ellipse, ellipse, ellipse. So keep that in mind if it's worth it to you. Empty that. Close those gaps. Okay, the layout is good. Careful about covering up. You almost are getting to her eyes. You want to be very careful about where we're cropping. Okay, so this says platform for the people, by the people. It doesn't really tell us what you do in the header. Okay, so that we need a little clarity on. You have about, and we come down here, and is it a social platform? Okay. Reviews. So you want to be clear about that. It's getting a little tight there for you to add what you do, but at least here add in a very succinct way, you know, what you're doing, because platform has a couple of meanings. All right. Great start, everybody. Really happy to see where you are. And after you make your revisions and check out what other people are doing, I think you're going to know exactly what to do for next week. All right. Great job. Keep it up.